In 1954, journalist and animal rights advocate Fred Myers co-founded the Humane Society of the United States. HSUS, an organization dedicated to protecting animals from cruelty and promoting humane treatment across the nation. Myers envisioned an organization that would address animal welfare issues on a national scale, tackling problems like animal experimentation, inhumane farming practices, and cruelty to companion animals. This narrative explores the origins of the HSUS, the challenges faced in its early days, and its impact on the animal welfare movement in America.
Before the founding of the HSUS, most animal welfare efforts in the United States were localized, with organizations like the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, ASCA, focusing on individual communities and states. Fred Myers, a former journalist and public relations specialist, recognized the need for a national organization that could address animal welfare issues through advocacy, education, and legislation. The 1950s were a time of growing awareness about the ethical treatment of animals, spurred by public concern over issues such as animal testing and the treatment of farm animals. Myers, along with fellow advocates Helen Jones, Marcia Glazer, and Larry Andrews, sought to create an organization that would operate on a broader scale, influencing policy and public opinion to promote the humane treatment of all animals, not just pets.
Launching a national animal welfare organization presented numerous challenges. At the time, the animal welfare movement was fragmented, with various groups working independently on different issues. There was no unified voice advocating for animals on a national level, and the idea of a single organization addressing diverse animal welfare concerns was ambitious. Funding and public support were significant hurdles. Many people still viewed animals primarily as property or resources, and there was limited awareness of issues such as factory farming or animal experimentation. Myers and his colleagues needed to build a strong base of supporters who were not only sympathetic to the cause but also willing to contribute financially to sustain the organization's efforts. In addition, the HSUS had to differentiate itself from existing organizations like the ASCA. While the ASCA focused on direct care and rescue, the HSUS aimed to address systemic issues through policy change, public awareness campaigns, and advocacy. So this required developing expertise in legislative affairs, public relations, and education to influence national policy and change public attitudes toward animals.
Despite the challenges, Fred Myers and his co-founders officially established the Humane Society of the United States on November 22, 1954. Myers became the first executive director, and the organization's headquarters were set up in Washington, D.C., symbolizing its commitment to national advocacy and policy work. One of the HSUS's first major campaigns targeted the use of animals in scientific research. In the 1950s, animal testing was largely unregulated, and millions of animals were used in experiments each year, often suffering under cruel conditions. So Myers and his team worked to raise public awareness about the issue and lobbied for stronger regulations to protect animals in laboratories. The HSUS also focused on improving conditions for farm animals, which were increasingly being raised in industrialized settings with little regard for their welfare. The organization highlighted the inhumane practices in factory farming and advocated for more humane methods of animal husbandry. This effort laid the groundwork for future campaigns against practices such as battery cages for hens, gestation crates for pigs, and the use of antibiotics and hormones in livestock. Under Myers' leadership, the HSUS quickly established itself as a leading voice in the animal welfare movement. The organization used a combination of research, public education, and legislative advocacy to tackle a wide range of issues, from wildlife protection to pet overpopulation. One of its early successes was the passage of the Laboratory Animal Welfare Act in 1966, which was the first federal law regulating the treatment of animals in research.
Fred Myers' vision for the HSUS as a national advocate for animals was realized as the organization grew in size, scope, and influence. By the time of his death in 1963, the HSUS had already made significant strides in raising public awareness, and advocating for better treatment of animals across various sectors. The HSUS has continued to build on Myers' legacy, becoming one of the largest and most influential animal welfare organizations in the United States. It expanded its efforts to include not only companion animals and farm animals, but also wildlife conservation, animal cruelty prevention, and the promotion of humane education. The organization played a key role in passing landmark legislation, such as the Animal Welfare Act of 1966, the Endangered Species Act of 1973, and the Humane Methods of Slaughter Act of 1978. Today, the HSUS remains a powerful advocate for animals, with millions of supporters and a broad network of programs addressing animal welfare issues both domestically and internationally. The organization's work has helped to change public perceptions of animals, promote more humane practices in industries ranging from agriculture to entertainment, and secure stronger legal protections for animals in the United States and beyond.
Fred Myers' founding of the Humane Society of the United States marked a pivotal moment in the history of the animal welfare movement. His vision of a national organization that could address animal cruelty and promote humane treatment through advocacy and education transformed the landscape of animal welfare in America. When Myers' approach to animal welfare was innovative, combining public awareness campaigns, research, and legislative advocacy to create systemic change. His work laid the foundation for modern animal rights activism, inspiring future generations of advocates to continue the fight for the ethical treatment of animals. The HSUS's ongoing impact, from promoting humane farming practices to combating animal cruelty and advocating for wildlife protection, is a testament to Myers' enduring legacy. His commitment to building a more compassionate world for all living beings remains an inspiration for those dedicated to the cause of animal welfare.
Fred Myers' founding of the Humane Society of the United States was a groundbreaking step in the fight for animal welfare. His vision and leadership helped to establish a national voice for animals, influencing policy, raising public awareness, and promoting humane treatment across the country. Today, the HSUS continues to build on his legacy, working tirelessly to protect animals and advocate for their rights. Myers' story serves as a reminder of the power of compassion and the impact that determined individuals can have in creating positive change for the voiceless.